So, this whole situation has been weighing on me for a while, and I feel like I need some outside perspective. My ex-boyfriend and I were together for about 2 years. Everything seemed fine, but things started to shift when I got a big promotion at work. He started making little comments about how I was leaving him behind, or how my career was becoming more important than our relationship. I brushed it off at first, but it became clear that he resented me for it. A few months later, I found out I was pregnant. I was shocked because we had always been careful, but when I told him, his reaction was beyond strange. He didn't seem happy or upset, just smug. When I pressed him about why he seemed so off, he finally admitted that he had been trying to get me pregnant, without my knowledge, to slow me down. He literally told me that he thought I was too focused on work and that having a baby would bring me back down to reality. I was devastated. I had so many plans for my career and life, and suddenly, everything was flipped upside down. Fast forward to our baby being born, she's a month old now, and he just up and left. He hasn't come to see her, hasn't offered any support, nothing. I'm a single mom, and he's out there living his life without a care in the world. I decided to sue him for child support and other damages because I feel like he deliberately sabotaged my life and left me to pick up the pieces. My friends are split, some think I'm doing the right thing, while others say I should just focus on raising my baby and move on. But I can't shake the feeling that he did this intentionally to ruin everything I had worked for. My 28F and my husband, 30M, just welcomed our first baby almost 3 months ago. Understandably, it has been a huge adjustment for both of us. She's still not sleeping through the night and we're both back to work full time. We have always split the household responsibilities 50-50ths. We just help where needed and it's always worked out well. Lately, my husband has been doing the chores terribly and I've had to come behind him to fix things or clean them again. For example, he cleaned the bottles the other night and they were cleaned so poorly I had to do them again. He dropped pump parts down the disposal and then ran it, ruining them. There have been several clothes that he didn't clean after a blow-up that are now ruined. There are many more instances like this. I've confronted him a few times, letting him know we all make mistakes and I know we're both tired, but it feels like he's not even trying to do things well. He just keeps saying he's so tired and is having a hard time working and taking care of the house and baby. I do sympathize with this as I'm also working, pumping, recovering, and taking care of the house and baby. The final straw for me was when he told me to go to sleep and he put up the milk I just pumped and finished the dishes. I was so grateful until I got up and realized the milk had been sitting on the counter and at this point was no good anymore. He said he was sorry and he put on a show to relax for a bit before doing the dishes and fell asleep. The next day I decided to cancel all of our streaming services, PlayStation Plus, and our theme park passes in order to hire a housekeeper. I figured if he's too tired to do basic household chores, then a housekeeper is necessary. If he's too tired to put milk up, then he's too tired to play video games or for us to go to a theme park. We still have cable and the PlayStation games and can do other activities outside of the local theme park. He blew up at me and said I had no right doing that and was furious. I thought I was doing us a favor so we can get more sleep and not worry as much about household tasks. So AITA for hiring a housekeeper without asking? I'm 15F, in therapy and started like 2 years ago now. My dad and his wife think it's time for family therapy with them, my brother, 9, and stepsister, 7. But I don't think that's such a good idea. So I counter-suggested that my dad goes with me to some family therapy sessions instead. My dad was like, no, that's not a good idea, and I was like, this might be the best way to do therapy. It's been weird since I said this. My dad's wife was pissed, kinda offended and also kinda hurt, and my dad said I made him feel torn. So background on why I'm in therapy, why they want family therapy and stuff. They got married 6 years ago. They met 7 years ago. My mom died after a complicated birth with my brother. Losing her was the worst. I never blamed my brother even though a lot of people expected me to. But my brother and mom loved him so much and she was so excited for me to be his big sister. I remember her saying how perfect our family was and how he'd complete it. But then she didn't get to see it happen. My dad couldn't really cope on his own and met his wife at this group for single parents, and they started dating. Her daughter was newly born and her daughter's father was not involved. My dad and his wife were hoping we'd all become this perfect little family. My dad's wife told me she was so excited to be a mom to 3 kids. My dad said he couldn't wait to see me as a big sister to 2. He knew before they got married that I hadn't started to care about them. I think he thought it would change. But I never felt that way about my dad's wife or my stepsister. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. But I don't love them or feel the whole perfect family thing. I'm civil and I try not to be obvious about my feelings with my stepsister, though I'm pretty obvious about not considering my dad's wife my mom. Over time it did get more obvious that I favor my brother and that I love him vs accept the fact my stepsister is in the household. My dad said it was in how I looked at them. He said I look emotionless at my stepsister but I light up with my brother. I think he might have realized too that I know stuff about my brother but not my stepsister. My dad and his wife sat me down 2 years ago and told me I needed therapy because it wasn't healthy. And now they think we need therapy all together to work on things as a family and to get all the cards on the table. But my feelings haven't changed. I still don't love the step members of the family. I still wouldn't say they're people I'll always want in my life. This is why I suggested therapy with just dad. I wouldn't be okay being that honest to dad's wife and my stepsister's a kid, so I don't want to be the reason she ends up with trauma. But my dad and his wife don't like what I suggested.